As always, it's our pleasure to visit with State Senator Jason Crowell on our weekly legislative reports here on J98. And Senator, this week a lot of attention paid to the State of the State address by Governor Nixon. And how about your thoughts on the governor's speech and how it came through?
Well, I think the governor gave a fine speech and laid out some ideas and suggestions of priorities that he wants to look at. He also unveiled his budget plan moving forward. We're still trying to weed through that and get into the details of everything. But all in all, I think the governor gave a fine speech. You know, he gives a good speech, but a budget was never balanced by a speech. So it's time for the work to begin.
Was there anything, first of all, in the speech that you didn't like or didn't care for? Any disappointments?
You know, not really. He didn't really say a whole lot substantive. You know, I think somebody quoted, he said the word jobs over 100 times, but not a whole lot of meaning to it. I mean, I understand and agree with him that job creation and an environment of job creation needs to be our first priority, and I share that concern with him. But since his time as governor, and every year that he's been governor, our unemployment rate has grown, not gone down. So even though he jumps on the state plane at taxpayer expense and flies all over the state and announces 10 jobs here or 300 jobs there or this and that, those are virtual jobs backed on tax credits that aren't real and aren't paying a salary to anybody yet. They're just announcements. And, you know, just this week we had another big announcement where the state of Missouri is going to spend $100 million and give it to Ford for not creating one new job. So, you know, I understand where he wants to talk about jobs, but I don't think he's really embracing some of the key ideas that are needed to change our economic outlook. And those, in my opinion, are Missouri must take a hard look at right to work. Now, ultimately, I believe that the citizens, Missourians all across this state, should be able to vote on that and have the final say on whether or not Missouri adopts a right-to-work status. And then I also think we need to look at what we're doing with our tax policies, particularly the fair tax model on moving from an income tax to a sales tax, and learning the lessons of, say, a state like Texas, where I've seen statistics that fully 60% of every new job created in the United States of America over the last 2 years was created in the state of Texas. So those are some of the things that I think we need to embrace and we need to look at. We share the same priority with Governor Nixon, that this economic outlook and what we do to embrace job creation in the state of Missouri needs to be priority one. We just may have a couple different ideas on how we get there.
And now you roll up the sleeves starting next week, weather permitting, of course.
Right.
And
right. We're right in the middle of this unbelievable global warming, aren't we, Mark? It's really something to see. I saw a statistic last week where 49 of 50 states had snow on them, including Hawaii. Florida was the only state that didn't have snow on it, and 72% of every square mile in the United States had snow on it. So it's really something to live through this global warming time, isn't it?
Now there's some legislation we can work on, right?
Exactly.
Well, Senator, thanks for the visit, and as always, we'll look forward to visiting with you again next week.
All right. Thanks so much, Mark, and safe travels to everyone that's out there. Be safe.
And again, that's State Senator Jason Crowell with his weekly